Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world. So I'm super excited, to launch my podcast, but this time in video format. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on podcast, you can also watch or listen to this episode. And I'm super excited today to bring you a very special guest that I've been know for a very long time. Juan Hernandez. He has been a personal friend, a mentor, and he specialize in, I don't know what you specialize in, Juan, anymore. You do so much amazing thing, and we're gonna dive into all of that. But yeah, Juan, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Juan, you are in the previous episode already. Could you just quickly share your story on, how you get into real estate?
Pretty much I got started when I was pretty young. My father had a real estate business. He was buying and selling houses and started more of the rooms for rent model.
Oh
And
wow.
I got in like around like 16 years old. I got my driver license and I started doing running errands and answering the phones and knocking on doors, doing evictions, like basically learning from A to Z. Um, it took some time. I'd say about 10 years before I really got the hang of it. Um, I bought my first property when I was 19. Turned it into a rooming house and started making money, cash flow. So you asked what I specialize in. I specialize in cash flow stuff. So
I
if
love
it
that.
makes me some money, I'm pretty much in. There's limits that of what I'm willing to work for nowadays, but um, yeah. So I got started young, working like everyone else in the bottom, and then I started learning construction and how to frame walls and actually build these things.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
and so I was able to double the size of the business, sell off some properties, and then reinvest the money and now I've own a hotel. So
No way. Okay, so we're definitely gonna dive into that. So this is truly a story of Four Greenhouse One Red Hotel. Um,
yes.
but yeah, I cannot wait to dive into that. But some of the thing I kind of want to pick on, from one conversation is that if you guys notice, he didn't skip the step, right? He didn't do any shortcut, so he done the hard work. He knock on door. He does cold calling. He actually worked inside the business, like to learn all the lingo. And I believe that is one of the best way for us to kind of get started. Because one, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people these days nowadays they try to kind of shortcut the process, if you will. 1 year get into real estate, and then here they are, raising money and doing syndication, right? It just totally freaked me out, when I see those guys, right? With like, hey, maybe you should go knock on doors and then maybe do framing, maybe do something simple first before you start raising money. So I believe that it's just the right way to start is to actually get into the business and doing those things. So
Yeah, it's good to stumble. It's good to stumble. It's good to make mistakes. Just limit the mistakes that you make. Uh, you know,
mhm.
you got to learn. You got to get out there. No one's gonna teach it to you yourself. They're not gonna just somehow magically
Mhm.
you're going to learn how to buy properties. You got to get out there and study the deals. Learn how to read a deal first before you even worry about how much money you're going to make and stuff. So I did literally. I used to work for free, and in some cases I still will, but it's only because I want to learn. If I learn
Mhm.
someone's process and apply it to my system, hey,
Mhm.
it's just amazing. It's amazing what one conversation can do with the right person.
Yeah.
So
I love that. We work for knowledge, we work for equity, and we work for cash flow, right? We don't work for money. So I think that's the mindset, that help you, to get to where you are today. And I would taking note on that part. It's so important. You work for knowledge, you work for cash flow, and you work for equity.
yes.
So coming back to your to your business, you mentioned something really interesting that I don't believe that not a lot of people is familiar with, which is the rooming house. So could you help me slow down, pretend that I don't know anything about rooming house? How would you describe rooming house to to a new investor?
So It's kind of hard, but it's basically rooms for rent in a house.
Okay.
Airbnb, but before
Mhm.
Airbnb, um, and it's
Okay.
more geared towards locals, natives, people that are going to be staying there for months at a time, weeks at a time. It's not usually ran like a hotel where you got people coming and going.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's a boarding house, but we don't sell food and we don't like take care of the people's medications and stuff like that. It's just like a big. I stayed in a dorm when I was like 15, 16 years old.
There you go. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, it was a barracks. So I was in military school, so there
Oh,
was.
tell us more about that. There's
Yeah,
there's so much background to kind of make you become where you are today. So I would love to dive into that. You must learn a ton in military school as well.
yeah, I did. They teach you how to fold your clothes. They teach you how to do everything. They teach you how to use the bathroom. They teach you everything you need to know. They got an instructions for it. So
Ah.
the thing that really got to me was that there was 500 of us there in the area, and it was about 8 buildings, 60, 60 to a building, 4 to a bathroom, 2 to a room.
Hmm.
And so once I came back to Houston after going to school there, the concept of a rooming house, it was easy to understand. It's like, oh, I did this. I stayed in the hospital before, you know. So I've had a roommate. So it was very strange when I saw it and it made sense to me. And all I kept thinking was the barracks are made out of bricks. So it's hard to put a wall up in the middle of a room. But these houses here in Houston, it's wood.
Yeah.
How it's wood. Like you can take it down, you can put it back up. It's not like you're dealing with brick or steel or anything like that. So the concept came very natural, very easy to me. I could go inside a house and I can see rooms. How many rooms per square foot can I get? So a typical room that I started out with was like 100 to 120 square feet. So like a 12 by 10, a 10 by 10, somewhere around that size. Uh, and so when I first saw my first property, when I bought it at 19, it was a medical clinic. So if you've been to a clinic or a doctor's office, you see that there's rooms already cut out.
Yeah.
Uh, and they got a medical bed in there, a little medical dresser, and a sink. So all I did was change the furniture around and call it a room for rent.
No way. Okay, I kind of see how it all kind of fit in now.
Certain
Medical
things
office.
are clicking, as you gather information, gather data as you go along. And so it's good to do different things and go and experience life because you don't know what one experience is going to lead to the other. So going to the military school, I hated it, but it helped me. It helped program me, it helped me teach me discipline and structure and organization. So that way I could look at a rooming house and say, I can run this. I can hire employees. I can, work in a team. I can follow orders. So a lot of it was following orders for a long time, knowing how to follow orders and not being like, I wasn't born a leader. And I probably am not the best manager, but I hire the right people that
Ah.
will follow those things for me because I know what my weaknesses are and I know what my strengths are. But the military school taught me that, how to use the people around you to get the mission done, right? We're here for a
Good.
mission. So the mission was to buy the property. I found the contractors, I found the real estate agent, I found the title company. And once I learned the process of buying a property, I figured this is easy. This isn't hard. Takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes a month, 2 months, 3 months to actually close on a deal, depending how. And but it's patience
Mm.
and knowing your thing. So I decided to go to real estate school after that, after my first property, so I could learn the system, not to represent people or anything like that. It was all for myself. I was a little selfish and I wanted to learn how the process worked.
Hmm.
So I went and believe it or not, I failed the exam 3 times.
No way. I don't believe you.
I really did. I failed the exam 3 times, so I gave that up for a little while, and then but I learned a lot from the textbooks. That's what I was more concerned with. I learned a lot, but the test could be hard. I'm not a good test taker,
Mm,
so I went back to work with my father at his company, and I started putting together rooming house deals, and I would use the agent that we would find the deal or bring the deal to me. I learned how to, hire agents
mhm.
to represent me and to find deals. A lot of the deals I was buying were under 200,000, so that was a challenge enough. Like the agent's only going to make a few $1,000
I
for
know,
deal
right?
stuff, and I'm asking them to send an offer in at 11 o'clock at night because it just hit HAR. They like stop calling me, man. So after about a couple of years of doing that, then I went back to real estate school and I got my license to be able to submit my own offers. And then that's when, things really started rolling and I was able to, make offers, lowball offers. I
Mhm.
had to go talk to the clients directly, like homeowners. I'll go knock on the door. I have a license now. I'm a professional. I'm not here to, steal a plant off your front porch or something. Steal your hubcap. So get you a nice shirt with the logo on it, so you look professional enough where they say, okay, this guy's not, he's not here to mess with me. I'm here to talk about money. Let me help you. So I learned how to send out lead letters and all that kind of the mail outs and stuff. Learned
Wow.
the process. Learned to buy from probate. Uh, I learned so many different ways. People say, how do you find a deal? It's like
Number one question.
it's a big part. It's a hard answer to say, but I find the deals. How about that? And not all deals are found. Some deals are made. So
Mhm.
it's
Oh, I
it's
like
just depends. It depends how you perceive the information. There could be 100 of us lined up looking at this building, and I'll be the one that buys it because I see something different than what other people do. So the
that.
rooming house concept really made me look at ways of expanding, but also using what you have, right? If you have a 2,000, 3,000 square foot building, a 4 bedroom, 3 bath house, and you're not using the rooms, rent them out. And, right. And then Airbnb just blew that up out of the water,
Yeah.
and everyone's doing it now. So
Yeah.
I just try to contract as many people in one house as possible and, make sure everyone stays happy and safe to the most, best of my abilities and collect the cash flow. Pays the house off faster. Um, you
Yep.
deal with a few things, but you hire a manager, and I get to live my life. I have freedom to go do another one and another one and another one. So right now we're about 15 locations. We were at
15 location.
we were at 21 about 2 years ago. Sold a few properties off, and then I reinvested the money into a hotel.
Holy moly. Well, before you get into the hotel, let me try to wrap it up because you just touch on so many good stuff.
Yeah.
So let's say, for the type of property, right? I don't think you mentioned you try to extract the most, the leasable square footage. So I would imagine, the rooming house, it has to be some kind of, like big, right? Not like a small 3 bedroom, 2 bath house. So could you describe, like your buy box, if you will, if you don't mind sharing to the audience that's listening? Like, hey, if I want to get started in rooming house, what is an ideal property for me to start in? What does it need to look like?
So, I used to have like a cookie cutter thing. If it didn't fit, I can't do the deal, right? And I'll explain the cookie cutter, but for just so that way now I don't limit myself.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a 1,000 square foot house, I'll still look at it. How can I chop this up? Just
Ah,
just for giggles,
yeah.
for me to do it. And that's the mentality that got me to the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm not looking at fourplexes or 10 units to turn into rooms. I'm looking at anything, a warehouse, so don't limit yourself on just, I only can buy 3 bedroom, 2 bath houses, because there's going to be a lot of deals that you could have made money with and you didn't do it, just because you want to stick to like a principle or something. But So the cookie cutter system that I used before was either a fourplex or a 3,000 square foot building. It
Mhm.
had to be inside the 610 loop, like where public transportation was accessible.
Very important.
Very, very important, because I would say more than half the people don't have cars. They rely on the public transportation system to get around. It had to be a large lot. It couldn't be a small lot because parking again. Um, and I looked for at least a few bathrooms. I
Bathroom is important. The number of bathroom.
Yeah, number of bathrooms. You can't just buy. I mean, you could buy a one bedroom house. I mean, a one bathroom house, and I've done it and added bathrooms to it, but it makes it so much harder.
Yeah,
So and it's just more time and labor costs. Um,
I see. Okay.
I mean, I once I got out of that cookie cutter system, I was able to buy uh, house in the front, house in the back kind of situation. Uh,
It's
I
kind of
bought
free
three
yourself.
houses all in a row together, and they were all small little 1,000 square foot houses, but each house could hold like 6 rooms. So
Ah,
I'm saying, why am I limiting myself to only buying fourplexes or a certain cookie cutter system when I can turn 1,000 square foot house that I pick up for 20 grand into a cash flowing machine, right?
amazing.
So back, I was buying a lot of this stuff back in 2010, 11. And you meet a lot of people, you hand out your cards and you tell them what you do, and they'll call you because they know you.
Yeah.
They know that if you stay fresh with them and keep in contact with a lot of these people, the deals will pour in. A lot of people are always worried about the deal. It's the concept, looking at things by the square footage. Can I get $1 a square foot out of a room? If it's 100 square feet, I want $100 a week. Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
simple. It's simple. I take that same concept with every project that I do, whether it's a small house or it's a hotel. So it's what's really made the difference in buying certain properties and the type of properties that I hold on to that I don't sell. So I hope that helped answer the question there.
No, no, it's really help, and then you really shed the light of it's all coming down to the to the price per square foot that you can lease on.
Yes.
If you lease it like long term, it's gonna be way cheaper when you lease it room by room or when you lease it out per day, right? Which
Mhm.
is we're gonna later on get into your niche, which is hotel which is hotel right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So buy it big, because when you buy it big, you can get it cheaper, and
Yeah.
then you lease it smaller, because when you lease it smaller, you can lease it for higher. So real
Yes.
estate, I tell people, real estate is just mathematics. There's
Yeah.
nothing else to it. You did the number makes sense. Let's go buy it. Let's go make a deal out of it.
Yeah. Of course.
Right? And real estate is just cash flow, right? Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow.
That's it.
And I love your concept. I love the way that you going about running your business, because it doesn't matter what is the market doing, right? The market can go up, the market go down. Interest rate can be 20% right now. Rooming house is still going to make money.
Yes.
Real estate go down. Interest rate go down 10. By 2%, 3% right now. Rooming house still make a ton of money. So I just love that. You
Yeah.
buy it correctly based on the number, the cash flow, and
Yeah.
everything else doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So transition into the hotel. I'm so impressed that you're gonna be that you're able to sell a couple of your rooming house. I believe that you kind of gather that together in the 1031 exchange, and kind of you have that time frame when you really have to look for something to move that money over, right? Otherwise, you're gonna get hit with capital gain tax. So tell
Yeah.
me the process. During that process, why do you decide to go forward with hotel?
So I was kind of forced into it in a way. So I had called a lot of people. I was selling about 3 properties. My capital gains liability was about $1 million,
Hmm.
and I talked to so many different advisors and mentors and paid people to just sit and talk to me for a few hours. And a lot of people told me just pay the tax and you don't have to worry about it and blah blah blah. And in my mind, I'm like, this guy is not he is not a real investor.
No.
So when people tell me stuff like that, I'm just like, these guys are they're nuts. Like,
Yeah.
why the buying power that I could use the money for? Let's say I pay the $1 million in tax. How much can that buy? At least a $3 or $4 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the leverage. So by me paying $1 million in taxes, I'm losing $4 million in buying power.
Woo.
Right? I mean, that's the only way I could look at it. And I said, this would be stupid. So I stopped talking to those people pretty much for good. I don't want to for any kind of advice because they don't know anything about money. So I started talking to 1031 exchange guys that were doing REITs,
Mm-hmm.
DSTs, Delaware Statutory Trust,
Mm-hmm.
taking other people's money, syndicators.
Yeah.
I talked to so many different people. A lot of people wanted the money because they're like, you don't know what to do with it.
Give it to me.
Yeah, I'll give you a percentage, and I almost did it. I really did. I almost did it, and I'm so glad I didn't.
Nope.
But then
You lose control.
yeah, I want to lose control, but where's the warranty at? Where's the, hey, you're not producing, where's my money at? What's going on kind of thing? I'm not the kind of guy that's just gonna sit there and be like, okay, yeah, you're not gonna pay me this month because of interest rates went up. Bullshit. No, but anyways, I can't have a partner. I got to be in control. I got to be the managing member. So
Yep.
I took the money and I put it in a 1031 account. Before we actually closed, I was able to find a buyer for the properties that was not in a super rush. He wanted to make sure we were going to close, but I'm like, look, man, we need to postpone closing because I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to let the 1031 people know before you close, at least a few weeks before.
Yep.
So they get all the paperwork together. The amazing part about it, it's only like $800. That's the thing. Like, you're saving me $1 million and only charging me $800, but you get to hold on to my money during this time. So that was a little scary, kind of nerve wracking kind of thing. I don't know if there was a show called American Greed on CNBC, and they would talk about people that steal money, fiduciary, right?
No way.
Intermediaries. I mean, it happened all the time.
So,
But
you don't actually to see your money when you close, when you sell your property, it go directly to that exchange. You don't see any of it.
no, I don't see any of it.
Damn, that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. Yeah, it is. It's frightening, honestly. But I'm an agent now, so I represented myself. So I was able to get some commission money to hold me over during that time. I tell everybody that because it was a critical moment. I lost like 40 grand in income a month.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that money going to come from? Right? Where's this? The money's sitting in an account over there, and I can't do nothing with it. I can't even put it to work.
Wow, that is scary.
The right step. So, luckily, everything worked out perfectly. We actually closed ahead of schedule before the 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
But so I took the money, I gave it to the 1031 guy, Mr. Lamb. He's out of the Woodlands. I don't remember his company name right now, but Mr. Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
He's certified. He knows his stuff. So he got the money. He held on to it. I identified my 3 properties in the 45 days, and I went to go see 2 of them at first. The hotel that I currently own was number 3. It was the last thing. This was like,
I remember.
I'm not gonna buy this junk if I have to. I was thinking I was going to go buy a Best Western. I was going to go buy a La Quinta or something like that. So I went and looked at 2 Best Westerns, and they were in rural areas, like outside of Houston. And the thing about certain sellers is that a lot of them are not willing to give you the information you need to make like a good feeling decision. Like, okay, the guy shared all the information with me. He showed me this. He showed me that. He's not afraid to open up the books. It's like, if you're not willing to do those things, then don't sell, right?
Oh, they don't?
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't.
No way. What the?
I'm dead serious. A lot of people do not want to share the information and disclose what's really going on. And I mean, a hotel. There's a lot of cash coming in and out of here. So I want to. There's got to be a ledger or something somewhere, right, buddy? Like, Give me some info here. A lot of these guys, they don't want to do it. So I can't buy it. I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable with you. So, at one point I'm like, I'm going to have to fucking pay the taxes on this $1 million. And I went to this last hotel, the one that I'm currently at now.
Here come the Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo. Within 5 minutes, I knew this was it. And for the people that are in Houston that know, this is the Greens Point area. So it's not the safest, or it's not River Oaks. It's nothing. Like, this place is dead. It's abandoned out here.
And I remember there was like a huge building that caught on fire in front of it. It looks like horrific.
Yeah, it's still there. I haven't worked that deal out yet, but we're working on that. But when I saw the place, I said, this is a humongous rooming house. This is a humongous. So I started looking at price per square foot. Price per square foot was something under $30 a foot.
No way. Are you kidding me?
I had to buy it. I'm like, I'd be stupid not to. So then I started talking to the agent, and I didn't have a lender that would lend on hotels. I also was in multifamily deals and stuff in the past. So I had multifamily lenders and, conventional financing that would do it, but not someone that specialized in hotel financing. Mm-hmm. So I talked to the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, and I told them that I would be representing myself again. Mm-hmm. They told me they couldn't pay me a commission, and I said, that's fine. I knew I had 1031 money in there, and this is a way that some of the people pull the money out through their license, right? So I'm like, I'll pay myself some money, and when they ask you like a percentage, like how much, I put to be determined, because I didn't know how much I was going to need to pay myself yet, right?
I love it. That's a legal way to pull the money out, 1031. I gotta take note of that, guys.
Yeah, you're a licensed agent. You're a professional. It's a service. This is a service that's not free. I don't work for free, right? I started thinking, I said, I can't work for free on this deal, even though it's for myself, but it's not. It's for the business.
You got it.
So, yeah, I started understanding the concept more, and I started making money representing myself as buying and selling. So I got paid both ways. So I put myself down as the agent. I go in there. We make them a full asking offer because I'm running short on time. I think I had like maybe 12 days left.
12 days for
my 45, yeah. So I had to hurry up and be like, okay, this is it. Then I'm like, shit, I don't have a lender. So I talked to the agent. He's like, we got a lender that we work with. And so he put me in touch with his lender. And this guy pulled out like all the tricks, he at first he was, stonewalling me and hitting me with all this stuff and like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I'm like,
yep,
I'm first time hotel buyer. Like, give me a break. Like, walk me through this, like, stop being such a hard ass,
Maybe he foresee that interest rate is going to rise, and then he know that he's going to have no client left after that. So it's like, okay, come on in.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now they knew what they were doing. You're right. They were only selling variable rates at the time and stuff like that. So that was all you could get. They weren't going to fix and lock you in for 25, 30 years. They're just saying,
really?
No, I couldn't find a loan that would do it.
Okay. So even would the one that you have right now is still on variable rate?
Still variable rate. So we locked in at 5%. And right now we're at 9.5.
No way. And there's no cap on it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. And you still make money?
Oh yeah. I'm still making distributions. I'm still making money. So I think I'm the only guy that's making distributions right now, honestly.
Probably the only guy right now, to be honest with you, because everybody just stopped distribution. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. Investors come first. So, but we went through the process, and I started talking to the lender. And the lender said, you're doing a 1031 exchange. He says, I have an idea. I have a way that you can get some of your money back tax-free. And I'm like, okay, I'm all ears. Like, this is great. Are you going to give me part of my down payment back, right? So I think it was $2 million that I had, and I was going to put it down, all of it down.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we'll give you repair money.
Mm.
but we need quotes from a contractor. So I formed an LLC and,
Ah,
and
because technically
submitted
do the repair.
some invoices because I have experience in renovating rooms and I have experience and I know what things cost, right? So I did a budget, I put it all together, and I submitted it, 500,000. I was like, that's good, right? That's fair. Right?
Uh-huh.
The guy said, "Are you sure?" He's asking me this for a reason. He's trying to speak to me in a riddle. Like, are you sure? Well, no. Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. So we do the inspection of the property, right? Like the formal inspection. I got to get the place inspected before I buy it.
Mhm.
So I hire an engineering company. They came out. I think it's called Titan Inspectors or Titan something,
Mhm.
and they were fantastic. I told the guy, get me the highest number you can get. Find something wrong here. I need a million. I mean, 1.5 million, something. So he went through it with the fine comb. He checked everything, and he brought me about 1.5 million worth of repairs.
Oh
Are
wow.
all those repairs valid for the investment? Like, do they need to be done in order to cash flow? No, but it was a good stepping stone that I needed and a good leveraging point. So I went back to the seller and I took off I believe it was like $150,000 off the asking price.
Yeah, for the repair.
Right there, bam. And so I'm like, great. So I got $150,000 commission coming to me already off the top. Then I go back to the lender and I tell him, look, the repairs are going to be 1.5 million. He said, we'll give you 800,000. Done. I'll take it. So
What?
yeah,
Fund you $800,000, at closing just for the repair.
first for the repair, and I got
Wow,
150 discount, so that's 950. I'm getting at closing already.
that's a
But
million.
it gets better. It gets better. So then the 150 was a discount. So like I said before, I didn't know how much I was going to have to pay myself at closing. So I ended up walking away with over $1 million at closing. So half of my down payment came back to me, and I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. I took some friends with me, and nobody believed that we were going to close. I'm the only one sitting there shaking. They have out snacks at the escrow office. I'm eating snacks. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is really happening. It was just an amazing feeling that lasted at least a good 6 months. It was a good 6 months of just like intense, like, man, I did something, like a
Wow.
full, true sense of accomplishment. So I got the $1 million. I started fixing the place up. I started cash flowing pretty much like day one. I started renting rooms
Mhm.
because I had already had a system and a way of marketing through Facebook and Google that helped me create a waiting list, because I was in the process with this for at least 170 days. I think it was 169 days.
Mhm.
So I put the ad out to start renting out rooms, and I tried to help the seller fill the place up before we close, so that way he could, start cash flowing some of that money, and then that way I could just jump in and start making money.
Oh
The
wow.
problem was the seller lived on the location. He only had 19 rooms rented out of the 170 that was here available. So I was kind of like, we're 10% occupancy. The lender didn't care because, I mean, they were getting a note. They were just like performa. The seller was very accommodating. He was able to, provide everything that was needed and then some. So he wanted out, right? He just wanted out. He needed to get done with the place. He couldn't figure out how to work it.
Yeah.
So I came in with the management, with the system, and I was able to start renting rooms like instantly. Within 60 days, we had 100 rooms rented.
Holy moly. Okay.
Cash,
So help me slow down a little bit. You say so the hotel you get it for $30 per square foot, and you say there's 170 room in it.
yeah, 170.
Holy moly. And there's only 10% occupancy when you buy it.
Yeah, 10%.
10%. How
10%.
on earth the lender can let you borrow money on something like this?
I mean, the numbers that they received from the seller
Uh-huh.
show more than what,
Ah.
than what was actually there. But the day that I took over and I counted all the rooms, I only found 19 people in the whole place.
Holy, holy, 19 people in the
So
hotel.
whatever you put down on the rent rolls or something else, I don't know. But but that's neither here nor there. It was, I'm buying the place. I can't wimp out now, right? I
Yeah.
have to fully go through with it, and we're gonna have to close this deal, and I got to figure out a marketing strategy, sales. That's all that matters, right? The sales process, that was the most important thing, and I hit it perfectly. We filled up occupancy completely. Um, I believe in December. We rented
No.
out 150 rooms.
Hmm. Wow. And it's so easy because this is a hotel. So whenever the room is empty, you can renovate the room. And then, you can just keep, renovating room by room, improving the property.
It's not like a apartment complex where you got to redo the bathrooms and the kitchens and stuff. Like it's pretty quick turnaround. It doesn't cost much. Each unit, I think we probably got maybe 35 to 4 grand in it, 3,500 to 4 grand in it.
Wow. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
So lesson learned, work with an investor like-minded lender, just like the lender that you have.
Yeah.
He is so accommodating, and he tried to come up and he tried to give you guidance, guide you basically using his expertise and guide you into the correct path. That is just amazing.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Woo.
Tremendously, tremendously. Having
Okay.
the right team around you, not just that helps operate the place, but that helps you get the place. So yeah, I got paid to buy the hotel, which was unheard. I've paid to buy stuff before, but never this much money.
Yeah, so basically there's a legal way for you to get the money out of the 1031 exchange. You
All
know,
the big boys do it. All the big boys do it this way.
I see.
Get
And
your own
that,
construction, your own management company. It's all a way to pull the money. Keep it in house.
wow, wow, wow. Okay. That just blew my mind already. Okay. Yep. And then let's see what else. What else did you touch on? Let's. No, this is so good. Let's run over the number real quick. So you say the hotel is almost 100% occupancy now. Would you mind sharing like the gross income and what is your like return on investment or cash on cash right now after you completely renovating it?
So for me personally, I'm 100% out of the deal already. So the repair money that I actually got, I only used probably about 400 to 500,000 of it
Okay.
on the property.
Okay.
The rest I still have,
Mm-hmm.
and then I raised money. I
Mm-hmm.
started selling shares of the hotel
Yep.
to um, to
To-
people that asked. Honestly, I was just telling people what I did, and they started offering me money. When before, I would try to raise money to do a deal, and maybe I seemed too desperate or I wasn't doing it right. But once you actually do it, it's so much easier to sell shares after you bought the property.
I
So
see.
like buying the hotel, I mean, people were just like, wow, like, and to me, it wasn't, I mean, it was a big deal, but it wasn't like, it wasn't hard, it wasn't like, oh my God, like it was cracking at times, but it was so worth it. Like, so it's just like once I started doing that and explaining people like how I did the deal, the
Mm-hmm.
money just started flowing in. So I raised about 800,000
Mm-hmm.
private money.
Mm-hmm.
So all my money in the deal is pretty much gone, and I've been cash flowing about 50 to 60 grand a month.
Wow. Is that the gross revenue that the hotel is bringing in?
No, that's net.
Oh, that's net. Holy moly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's me after investors are paid back, after money saved and everything. We're doing pretty good. Last month we hit 147,000.
Holy moly. Yeah, the thing with, short-term rental, hotels that, you have good month and you have okay month and you have bad month. On a good month, if you can do really, really well, it cover for all the bad months.
Average, I would say, is probably about 120, 125. But we've only had it for a year, and a lot of that time we've been renovating.
Mm.
We're adding like a kitchen. We're adding a store. We added the washateria, and then we
Would-
still have two big conference rooms that I'm still trying to figure out what to do with.
Wow. So continue like the watch area is going to bring in additional revenue. You
Right.
see that I see that you have a little grocery store over there, which is going to bring in additional revenue as well. So there's
Right.
so many aspects, there's so many little things that you can bring in and increase the income. That is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It's
Wow.
amazing how much money you can make off chips and candy and stuff. When you fill up a hotel, you have a whole community here, you know?
Yeah, and I love that you really know your number, right? You're not hesitating to like, hey, hey, this is my gross, but I don't know my net. You know exactly what your net is, which is what I don't see a lot of people. They kind of know their like bottom line number, but
Yeah,
still, like you have a good graph on your book. You understand exactly what's coming in, what's coming out. I see you do the accounting.
yeah,
I seen that. When I go to your apartment, but yeah. It's just you have a really good graph on your number, which I think is super super important.
yes, yes. Yeah, if you're not doing that, then I mean, what are you doing? The only job is to count the money. That's it. Everybody else, I mean, I did my part. I bought the place. I tell my employees, now y'all do y'all's job. Run the place.
Man, well, that is super amazing. Well, so we're moving on to the to the second part of the interview. So Juan, you obviously hit the level that a lot of people they're trying to get to. How do you stay motivated? How do you motivate yourself? To keep getting to the next level and the next level.
So, I felt like I did go like a plateau in the last year. I was looking for a lot of like an inspiration, kind of like I wanted to meet a lot of people. So
Hmm.
I joined the golf club. I started hanging around a lot of different people that they make so much money they don't care about it. It's like whatever. It's like they have so much money that it just doesn't bother them. So I was interested in that mindset and the inspiration. I guess really it took a while, and meeting the right person and having certain discussions really get your brain like wondering like how and why. So like I met this one guy. His name was Juan Vargas. I think his company's name is like Gen Wealth.
Hmm.
This guy like he's not like that. He's not like a 10-year vet in real estate, right? He started not that long ago and he like blew up. He started syndicating deals and putting really massive deals together. I was really impressed by his thinking process, right? Having one conversation with the guy, I was able to map out, the next few years of my business career.
Ah.
So like having a discussion with someone, I was talking to someone, I believe it was this past weekend, and I was explaining a dilemma that I had, and I forgot my own stuff. Like I tell everybody, write it down, write it out. So they said, well, why don't you just, write it out, do a pros and cons list, try to map out what, where you're going to head out in the next, year or 2 years.
Yeah, sometimes you have to listen to your own advice.
Right. And I did. I did it last night. And oh my goodness, the future looks so amazing. With this one deal, my revenue can double if I, sell this property and go buy another one. Um, and I found a way to get there last night. So I feel like the creativity block is gone, but the motivation it's always there. I read a lot of books, audio books. I watch a lot of movies, successful movies like business stuff or, biographies, stuff like that. Uh, I get a lot of motivation from my family, friends, uh, people like you that you guys are out there meeting people. We met one of your friends the other day and this guy's closing like 18 deals like nothing. I'm like, well, what the
I
fuck?
know, right?
What am I doing? I need to get past to work.
Yeah.
So I was just so impressed and like, man, like makes you feel like you're so small, right? Like, yeah, I did this deal, but this guy's doing 18 of them back to back to back right now in one day. I'm like, shit, like I need to get my ass back to work.
Yeah.
So, it really, to me, it's the human interaction, the people meeting someone and having that conversation with someone and they tell you, well, I just closed 18 deals today and they're all $1 million and up. And I'm just like,
Uh,
what? Like, you see it happen in front of you and you're just like, what the hell am I doing? There's no
Exactly.
point in sitting here watching him do this. I could be doing this. I could be out there, making the contact. And we both asked him what was the advice. It's the network. So it all comes down to the people they know you, and getting out there and like making a relationship with someone, making a deal happen. Ideas are coming around all the time, and then you meet someone that's like minded, that knows how to put a deal together as well, and it's just like, wow, like we should be working often more. Like,
I know, absolutely.
so it's the motivation, I guess. Just meeting new people is what really keeps me going. Like, where else? Who else am I going to meet? In the next few years, that's going to really change my life, and you just never know. You know.
I love that. I love that. And I know that you're a family man. You always take care of your family. So if you cannot pass any money to your kid and you can only pass them one advice, what would that be?
You asked me some tough questions here. I really want them to, be close to God. I think that's what's helped me, a lot. Being close, praying, being a giving person. Not everything is, you need a return on investment on. The other day, someone asked me about, uh, aren't you worried that you're not going to get something for your money? And I'm like, that's the difference. Like, more people put value on money, and I put value on relationships.
Ooh, go.
Right? I don't necessarily feel that if you needed money and we're friends and we've made money before in the past, or we have a relationship, I gave you the money. I'm not expecting you to pay me back. Right? It's not, I'm here to help you get through whatever situation you're going through, or whatever it is, regardless if it's money, advice, or whatever it is. And if you decide that I need the money back and I get the money back, that's fine. But a lot of the times, a lot of people that borrow money or come to me for advice, I don't necessarily see something come back instantly. And I feel that is like the ungreediness, that I want to teach my kids, is like, just because someone asks you for something does not mean you have to barter with them,
Mm,
depending on how they come to you. And if they come with you with respect and they're hat in hand, they need help, you help them without anything in return. So I feel like that would be my biggest advice to them, is don't be afraid to help other people, and you don't expect anything in return, right? Ju-
absolutely.
Just do what's right.
Oh, amen to that. Well,
Yeah.
Hon, that's the end of the presentation. I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and for the people that listening to this recording. If they want to reach out to you, build a relationship with you, maybe buy you a cup of coffee, what is the best way to do that?
So you can contact me through the Monte Carlo email. So info at Monte Carlo Houston HTX.com.
Okay, I will
Um,
make sure to put that in the show note.
yeah. And that's the best way to contact me.
Yeah, and what's your hotel name again? The Monte Carlo.
The Monte Carlo Hotel.
All right. How can I book that?
You can call us, or you can message us on the email. Check out our website, Monte Carlo Houston, Monte Carlo HTX.com. And we'll be right there. We're waiting for you.
Awesome. All right, I will put that in the show note as well. Juan, thank you so much.
Thank you.